What's going on, guys? So, new video out in the garage. I managed to do a little bit of kind of cleaning up, got everything kind of dealt with. Put the motors over here. These things look kind of goofy together, but that's how she goes. So, I was at the speed shop today. It's Monday after the weekend, and I picked up camshaft, push rods, and a bunch of lifters. A little bushing there for the transmission in the back of the crank. So I just kind of took this thing apart, and that's exactly where it ended. I didn't do anything else, so I'm going to kind of clean everything up. So it's all kind of carboned up and shit, and got gasket material. So use some kind of different stuff. My probably use a grinder with a wire wheel on it. Clean all it off, clean all the pistons, brake clean the whole thing, flip it over. You know, clean all the oil pan, all that, like all this silicone I got, everything just kind of came off. So I got to clean it all, make sure it's nice and good. Brake clean it, get it all nice and clean, and then get a little junk out of it. Should be able to just kind of lube up the new camshaft, slide her in. Yeah. Lifters, you know, oil pan, all that sort of stuff could go on pretty easy. And yeah, it should go together. And then, yoink the transmission out, kind of put it all together, give it a quick coat of paint. Should all be good. And then hopefully stab it in this thing and get her going. So I'm going to start kind of cleaning up out here. So I'll bring you back once it's all kind of cleaned up on the top and show you where I'm going next. Well, lots of cleaning. So I got the top end all kind of cleaned up. I you know, rolled the motor over, just kind of wire wheeled the tops of the pistons. Everything that was left kind of by the head gasket I scraped off just with a razor blade, and then I just kind of hit it real quick with the wire wheel. When I had this before, I decked it and stuff just with some basically a sanding block. Last time I had it all apart, cleaned all the silicone off the front and back, so that's pretty much that. In the front, cleaned up all around here, the, you know, timing chain cover, all those things, that's all pretty much good. So I mean, brake cleaner, compressed air is your friend. Just kind of go and make that happen. Just flip this thing over real quick. So same thing on the bottom side, I peeled off the oil pan gasket, you know, cleaned it all up. It's pretty much ready to go. So lots and lots of cleaning at this point now. You want to make sure you get everything, blow everything out. You don't want to get any junk in here. I mean, as clean as you possibly can is key. So I'm going to go through that. When I put this motor together a few years ago, I did put a new high volume oil pump on it. I mean, it's a pretty good little motor, 4-bolt main is what it is. So it's at supper time now. So I'm probably going to go do that, then a bunch more cleaning, and I don't know if I'll be back out tonight or not. But clean, 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 and then camshaft goes in. So that's that. But I'll be back at it in a little bit. What's going on, guys? So another day out in the garage. Managed to get a lot done kind of last night, and I'm carrying on today. So I unpacked the cam there. It actually usually come with a bunch of lube. It didn't this one, so that was something else. But I have some, so it's no big deal. So I'm gonna put that in. Last night I ended up putting these, you know, lifters in some oil. I don't know if you still have to do that or not, but I did just because I always have. Cylinder heads, I kind of cleaned them all up, just wire wheeled them, and degreased them, blew them all over there, so they're pretty much ready to go. So the next thing I'm gonna do is slap this camshaft in. I'm hoping today. Just got off work, but I should be able to slam camshaft in, lifters in, timing chain on, cylinder head should be able to go on, torque those down, and I think I'll paint it, because everything else I got putting on is going to be kind of chrome or something like that. It's already black, so it shouldn't take much, just one quick coat of paint, wipe it off, give it a quick shot, and then timing chain cover, oil pan, and yeah, intake, let it sit kind of for overnight just to set up and all that. And then, yeah, rip it off. I should be able to start putting the transmission stuff on. That's my plan anyways. So I'll get to it. I'll start putting this camshaft together. Or putting it in, I should say. And, yeah, make some progress. Okay, so this isn't rocket science. You want to make sure you do it right. So, pretty simple. Just want to kind of goop this stuff all on there. Work it the whole way around. Make sure it's nice and happy. That's what it's going to look like. Now the main thing you want to do when you're putting it in, you don't want to get the lobes of the camshaft hammering into the bearings. So you got to try and kind of hold it level, work its way in. I put a little bolt on it just when it gets to the end. It's easier to hang on to. Not really any tricks, just kind of go slow, don't let it fall down. It should go easy. Now last lobe's when it gets hard, because you gotta you're trying to tilt it back to hold it level, but all the weight's out front of you. There we go. Installed, just that easy. Bolt out. Spins easy. Problem solved. Okay, so the cam's in. The lifters, I drained the oil out, but they're obviously ready to go. It's kind of hard to do one-handed, but you just want to make sure you basically coat these lifters in a little bit of oil for this install stuff. Make sure it's all nice and happy. Obviously, flat side down. There you go. So, do that 16 times. You should be golden. So again, work clean, take your time. You can't do it too slow or anything like that, because mistakes are a pain in the ass, but it's this far apart. So make sure you know what you're doing. I'll put all these in real quick, lube them all up, and we should be able to put cylinder heads on. Okay, so here's the next step. The timing chain. So this is a new double roller. I put this on a couple of years ago, but it's still in really good shape. Pretty simple. The gear is marked front, so you know where it's going to go. There's one little hole you can kind of see. That has to line up with the camshaft, obviously. On the bottom gear, there's a triangle, a circle, and a little square. So one's advanced, one's retarded, and one's straight up. So ultimately, on the little gear, there's a little dot. Whatever this one lines up to, when you put it on the bottom, that's how it's going to be. So I'm going to, in this situation, put it in straight up. So essentially, you just kind of work it around, put the teeth on the gear, spin the cam around, plop it on, 3 bolts in, a little bit of Loctite, and you're done. So I'll just kind of get this one straight up where I want it, and we'll go from there. Okay, so bring it back and show you real quick. So the chain's on. The big thing you want to check if you're ever taking one apart and you're going to reuse it, you just don't want a whole lot of slack. At one point years ago, I had a car that actually had so much slack in it, it was actually rubbing on the timing cover. So this one's like good shape, no issues. Front, this is the little dowel pin to the camshaft, so it only fits in one way. Now let's get the light on it, but hopefully you can see dot to dot, so we know we're good there. Problem solved. So that part is done. So then after that, you got to put the timing cover on, because it has the front seal around the crank, or the balancer I should say, and then that's where the oil pan goes to, so I can put that on, and heads. So I think I'm going to put the heads on next, and then same thing, put all bolts in, and you just got to go ahead and torque those all down properly. Okay, so it's cylinder head time. So I have the gaskets on. They fit on the little dowels, pretty simple. The head will fit on, it'll sit on the dowels just to hold itself. And then obviously you're gonna put the bolts in. So I have the bolts over here kind of laid out. There's 3 different sizes: short, medium, and long. It's pretty simple. The short ones are all gonna go kind of on the bottom of the head, on the outside of the head. The other ones will be hidden in where the valve cover will hide. And then the medium ones go front and back, and the long ones are all through center, and some go in the water jacket and whatnot there. There is a little torque spec there, but ultimately kind of work your way in to out. It's a good rule of thumb. I think it recommends 3 different torques, 35, 50, 65 or something like that, but ultimately inside out and 65 foot-pounds worth of torque is what you want to do. So the head lays nice and flat, and you should be golden. So it's hard to film this, things are so heavy, but I'll hoist these things on here and maybe I'll go through a little torque pattern there on it. Okay, cylinder head is on. I got all the bolts in. I zipped them all down just real quick with my little impact, just so they barely touched, just so they kind of kissed the cylinder head. So I just went on the internet there and found out this is the little torque spec. So it recommends 25, 45, 65. So I already did 25, I went over all of them, 45, so basically work your way in, work your way out, kind of back and forth. So let's do one last torque, then do the other side. Okay, so a little more progress. All the push rods are in. I mean, you just kind of put them in, slide up the rockers. Obviously, I gotta adjust those. We'll do that when I'm rolling the motor over. I ended up putting on the timing cover. So the front seal, I didn't change it because it wasn't leaking before. And like I said, I put a new one in a couple years ago. It's still in good shape. So that's on. So now all I gotta do, roll it over and oil pan, and you know, a couple seals go on the timing cover, and then the rear. I should be able to tighten that down. I think that's all the parts I really have. And then I don't know if I'll do it tonight or not, but I got to go get some paint. I'm just going to paint this thing black again because it's gonna clean it all up, paint it, it'll look nice. And then intake on, that should be good. So yeah, supper time right now, so I'm gonna go take a little break, and I don't know if I'm gonna run to Canadian Tire, get some paint and all that before I come back out, or if we'll do that tomorrow. But lots of progress. All right, supper's done. Went to Canadian Tire, grab the can of paint. So I haven't cleaned the oil pan yet, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just kind of going to wipe all the junk off. I brake cleaned the motor obviously a few times. I'll just mask off you know, the intake there, put some rags over the rockers, then I'll fog everything, mask, you know, underneath, or hold just a piece of cardboard or something like that, keep it off the crank, and mask out the timing cover. And it's only going to take a coat or two, and while it's drying, I'll clean up the oil pan, roll this thing over, slap the oil pan on, and then yeah, should be good. Then I also got to paint the balancer. I think that's all. It's going black on this thing, but I'll get started on it, bring you guys back after I've made some progress. So I cleaned up the oil pan, it's ready to go. Got the gasket all ready to go, so it's got these two side pieces and the front and back, the oil pan. There's little kind of slots where these little ends fit in. Motor I painted, I just rolled upside down, I unmasked it, so it looks pretty decent. I'll just go over it again real quick once the paint hardens, and kind of get where the water pump is, and then where the spark plugs, where I just put in little balled up pieces of tape. And then same thing, I'll go over the exhaust ports, and then I just you know, I masked off the rockers and all that, so I'll roll that over when I'm done. So pretty simple. You'll just lay down the two cork gaskets, rubber gasket there, oil pan on, zing it on, and problem solved. It'll look like a motor. So I'll do that real quick, flip her upside down, and I don't know, maybe we'll put the intake manifold on. Really, this thing's coming together in one quick and easy evening. So I got the intake out, I cleaned it all up, it's all pretty much ready to go. I grabbed the gaskets. I never use these, so what I always do is I put the two intake gaskets on the side, and then this is supposed to go like across like that, and it has these little, you know, jets that stick in the block. Also, you know, I always find when you tighten it down, they kind of goosh out or leak there, so I find it's best just to kind of lay a bead of silicone front and back, especially now when you can get the intake really easy and put it directly down on it, and just kind of tighten everything, and there you go. So I like to do all that, get everything just kind of snug, let it dry overnight, and then just kind of go over everything, the oil pan, whatever it is, just give it another little tighten up after the silicone's all set up. I find that's best for preventing leaks. So I'll lay my bead of silicone, plop the intake down, start bolting it down, and then I got to put a coat of paint on. Where did I put it? My little front pulley, I'll clean that up, and the balancer. I don't know where I put that, but I need to coat of paint. Let that stuff dry overnight, and that can slam on the front, and then water pump, and I mean, it's pretty much ready to go back in the car. Here we go. back together. So valve cover's just sitting there having tied down. Like I said, I want to wait. Once the paint hardens up tomorrow, I can hit all the hot spots. I should be good there. I gotta paint a few things yet. Like I said, the water pump, I'll give it another quick spray, and the pulley. I can't find the balancer, which I know you guys are probably shocked with how my organization skills. But I think that's it for me tonight. Let this stuff all dry, set up, and then tomorrow I'm actually busy. Got a work thing tomorrow night, so I don't know if I'll be able to get out here before I go there. But a little bit of cleanup. Hopefully I'll find the last few things, slap that stuff together, then I can pull this transmission out. I said I gotta surface that flywheel and get this thing up on the crane, switch everything on the back, get the scatter shield on. I should be able to kind of make it all together. I got a little screwing around to do with the linkage on the transmission, but yeah. I'm thinking I'll probably just make this one long video. So yeah, motor's done, onto the transmission next, and I'm hoping I should be able to slap it in maybe this weekend, because it's Tuesday tonight, so that'll be good. And like I said, I'm still waiting on the clutch, or like the clutch pedal and all those things. And hopefully that'll show up later on this week or even early next week. Motor and trans can be in. I can clean all this up, redo the wiring, make that all happy. I mean, I can break the cam and I can do all those things without the linkage. Yeah, that's it for me tonight. We'll be back at it tomorrow. What's going on, guys? So it's Thursday afternoon. I wasn't in the garage at all yesterday, so I didn't get a whole lot done, obviously. But today I came out, I cleaned up just all the kind of mounting surfaces and all that, so the motor is pretty much ready to go. Tonight I was going to finish putting this thing together. So over here, just paint a few things. So paint the balancer, water pump, pulley, and the little kind of engine crane thing. I just use this for return spring on the throttle. So I'm going to put that together. I pulled the transmission out of storage, took the old bell housing off. Last thing here, I got to go through the linkage and stuff. I pulled out this old clutch and all that stuff, which I got with it, which is kind of a little on the rusty side because I've been letting it just kind of sit around. So I'm probably going to surface that myself with a random orbital. And then I have the scatter shield, so I got to figure out how that's all going to kind of fit on. Switch flywheel, do all those things. And what else I gotta do? I think that's kind of it. But anyways, I know I was gonna do this in kind of one long video. I was just going through on the camera how much I have, and it's kind of already a lot of footage. So I think I'm gonna put the motor together, call the video tonight, put it out tomorrow, Friday, and then work on the transmission kind of the next video, mount it to the motor, slip that sucker in because I still gotta clean up and all that, and maybe put a second video on the weekend. So hopefully that works for you guys. That's what I'm gonna do, and I'll get after this. Okay, balancer is on. I was actually going to show you guys, I bought this brand new tool. It's actually meant for putting the balancers on. And I guess the stuff I got is just cheap off Amazon. And the one piece I needed was too short. So I resorted to a block of wood and a hammer, which I'm sure someone will let me know in the comments was dead wrong, but it's on there. And it's ready to go. So I'll slap on the water pump, same thing, it's just a couple of bolts, shouldn't be a big deal. I gotta maybe paint the fuel pump before I put it on. Move this little rod out of the way, push it up, bang that together, and that should be pretty much it. Go together pretty quick. So there it is, front dress is on. The fuel pump actually, I pulled it out of the trunk, and it's just some old junk one I had, and it was all kind of beat up, so I hung it up to put a coat of paint on it. So I'll let that dry and put that on. I think otherwise I'm done putting parts on. I'm just now at the kind of silicone setup. I'm going to go around and everything, just give it a quick little torque up, and that should be ready to go. So that's it for this video. Like I said, I'll be back at it, well, right away, but it'll be the next video for you guys. So I'm going to try to get this one out tomorrow, Friday. I'll go from there. So like the video, subscribe, tell your friends, leave a comment, good or bad. I appreciate them all. I read them all. I comment back on all of them. And yeah, I'm going to look into this transmission stuff. I've actually never done a Muncie, so it should be fun for me. I'm sure I'll do it dead wrong, and you guys will let me know. I'll see you guys on the next one.